Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Flying with Captain Cristian here. We are in Torrance, California in our beautiful PA44 Seminole. And I'm using today this airplane because I want to share with you this new software available finally in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 that allow us to do some real-life instrument procedures. So I'm talking about the Navigator, GPS Navigator from Garmin GTN 750XI, which is a one-to-one real-life simulation of the real unit, and it's been brought to us by this company called TDS Sim. So what they do is they use the Garmin trainer and they present the Garmin training into the flight simulator. So let's jump into the cockpit. This airplane has installed into the panel the GTN 750XI, so you can see here. Now it's been just recently released, this software, so we still have some incompatibilities with the flight simulator, and mostly due to flight simulator limitations that hopefully these guys at TDS Sim will be clearing and solving these issues in the future. For now we have four basic or main problems, main issues, and one of them is the lack of inputs that we have from this unit in the panel, in the 3D panel. So we can see everything here in the unit, but we cannot interact with the unit. If this one has a touch screen in real life, so if we touch everywhere, you can see there is nothing, no interaction. With Alt Tab we can bring this window up, and this is the fully interactive real one-to-one simulation of the actual unit. Now if we go into the simulator and let's zoom in a little bit into the panel here. So this is one of the restrictions that we have for now. So if we go back here, whatever I do in the simulator, in the Garmin simulator, will be shown in the screen, in the panel mounted screen. But in the panel mounted screen for now we cannot interact. I cannot go and do whatever I need to do directly in this screen. I need to bring up this pop-up screen to do it. But for now I'm happy with that. I can live with that because this is the real unit, and for the first time in Flight Simulator we have a realistic representation of a real GPS navigator. So yeah, I'm willing to pay the price of having to bring this window back and forth anytime I need to interact with the GTN. But if I don't need to interact and I'm just navigating, I can just look or reference to the screen information, which is good enough. So that is one of the shortcomings for now. Hopefully they will resolve that at some point in the future. Okay, so this is a very capable navigator, and the plan is to kind of do a demo / mini tutorial, if you wish, about how to use this navigator and maybe try to demonstrate a little bit of the amazing capabilities of this unit. So let's start by checking out what is my plan for today. So let me go to the website here. Is Sky Vector. So we are right now here at Torrance. As you can tell, very good weather with sky clears. Winds are calm, 19 degrees, and QNH is 3010. And the plan is to go from Limbo, Victor 8 to Paradise, and then Victor 442 to Apples. And we have a departure from Torrance that will take us to Limbo, and from Apples we have an arrival that will take us into Victorville. Victorville as well is reporting very good weather conditions with clear skies again, and the altimeter there is 3016. So that is the plan. So let's jump back into the airplane and let's load the plan. Okay, so as I said, to interact with the Navigator, we need to bring the Navigator window on top, and now we can interact. So to fill out the flight plan, there are a few different possibilities to do it. One is to go to the home page here and select flight plan. Or another, if you are in the map page, you can just click here and that will bring you to the flight plan. Or another, and by the way, if you want to go to the map page, you just press home and click it for a couple of seconds and it will bring you to the map page from anywhere into this unit. And the last one will be just a right scroll in the big knob and that will take you to the flight plan and to other pages, but right now we are interested in the flight plan page. So this is how easy it is to build a flight plan. So the airport that we are in, it's already there, as you can tell. We are in Torrance. And by the way, if you need to get some information, you just click here and click Waypoint Information, and there you go. You have all the information. That's the coordinates, the location, the elevation, the time zone, the kind of fuel. You can view charts, you can preview, that's the airport diagram. You have a list of all the procedures available. You have all the information about the runways and frequencies and other stuff. So for now, let's go back and let's concentrate on building our flight plan. So I'm gonna hit add waypoint, and the first waypoint we said is gonna be limbo. So I just click L and the computer already identified the next kind of guessing what we want. So this is the closest intersection that starts with L and is actually the one that we are looking for. So limbo, we just click there and boom, we already have it there, limbo. Now we click in limbo and click on load airway, and now we select two airways crosses through limbo, Victor 64 and Victor 8. We are using Victor 8 today, so we click Victor 8, and now we have to select the exit point. From Victor 8 we are gonna go to Paradise, so Papa Delta Zulu, Paradise view are. So here are all the waypoints that we're gonna fly in Victor 8, Limbo, Wilma, Seal Beach, Aheim, etc., until we end up into Paradise. So we verify that all is correct in a graphic format and in a text format, and we load this, and boom, just like that, as easy as that, we have our entire airway loaded with all the waypoints. Now from Paradise we switch to another airway, this time Victor 442, and exit point from that will be Apples. So from Paradise is Rice, Cats, Emmeline, Apples. And again, here is in graphic format. We are happy with that, we load that. Just like that. Very easy compared to the old Navigator, you know, Garmin 530, 430 with the knobs. It was a bit of a pain. Here, super easy. Now, once we are Apples, we are gonna add the waypoint, which is our destination, which is Victorville, so it is V, and here it is again. The computer guess what can be our destination, and this one is the correct, so we don't need to keep typing. We already have the answer here, Victorville, Southern California, so we load this and that's it. Now we have all our routes complete here, and if we press menu from the flight plan, we can select preview, and that's the preview exactly of our route, graphical and text. So from Torrance to Limbo, then Victor 8 Papa Delta Zulu, Victor 442 Apples, and Victorville. And you can zoom in if you want more details. You can zoom in as much as you want, and you can scroll through your entire route, and everything looks good, nice and easy. So now let's go back here to homepage, which is, or to the map, should I say. Okay, what else do we need? Let's listen to the 80s. Let's see what it says. So what is the 80s? Well, I don't know. Well, let's select flight plan, let's select turrets, let's select waypoint information, frequencies, and here we have 80 is 25.6. So we just click here and select either active or standby for the COM1 radio, which is up here. So I'm gonna switch this one to active. Boom, just like that.
Torrance Airport Information, Oscar 1500 Zulu. Windcom. Visibility 10. Sky condition, few clouds at 500 feet, few clouds at 4,200 feet, few clouds at 12,200 feet. Temperature 19. Dew point 10. QNH tray 0.10. Visual runway 11 right and visual runway 11 left in use. Landing and departing runway 11 right and runway 11 left. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Oscar.
Okay, so that is Oscar. Now we have a standby ground, so I'm gonna click up here and that will switch the standby with the active. So now ground is the active frequency, and I'm gonna select tower, which will be 33.075, and I'm gonna enter that into the standby window, and now I have those informations here. One neat thing is that I can tell that this frequency, whatever the number is here, is Torrance ground, and this number is Torrance tower, so that is pretty neat. On the VORs, what we have Victorville VOR here. Okay, that's gonna be for later on. For now, for our departure, and let's talk about our departure first. So let me go back to our sky vector here. Let me select the Samperini field, which is Torrance, and in there, let's go to the SIDs, or departure procedures. We have only one, which is the Hawker 3. But this one doesn't suit our purpose or our route. So there is another one, which is in the takeoff minimums. So let's click takeoff minimums here. Let's bring up the zoom a little bit, and let's go looking for Torrance. That would be Torrance. Here it is, Torrance. Okay, so here we have the takeoff minimums and the departure obstacle departure procedures. So let's assume for the purpose of this exercise that ATC is clearing us to depart via the ODP, or obstacle departure procedure, from runway 29er. So what is the departure procedure? From runway 29er, either left or right, we're gonna use 29er right. The departure says climb runway heading, and then in both departures, meaning from runway 29 and runway 11, both departures climb to 3,000 feet and then intercept the LAX radial 170 to limbo intersection. So here is the limbo intersection that I was referring to. So let's go back to our vector and make a sense of what we are going to do. So we are here in Torrance. We're gonna depart from runway 29er, so we're gonna head in like in this direction, and then they want us to intercept up here is the Los Angeles VOR LAX. They want us to intercept the radial 170, which is this one here that goes from LAX all the way to limbo, and is 10 miles from LAX to limbo. So that's the plan. Now, how are we going to do that in the Navigator? There are a couple of options. We can set LAX to limbo. That will give us this line here, and we depart on heading select, or maintain just runway heading, which is about 2905. Let's see, airport diagram. 296.7, 297 actually. So okay, we'll give 297, and then once we are close to this line here from LAX to limbo, we just turn to intercept this one, and once intercepted, we can select nav, or we can do the fully automated way, which is we are going to create a user waypoint here. And this user waypoint is going to be in the intersection from LAX radial 170 versus the Torrance Airport 297, which is the runway heading. So let's see how we do that in the unit. Let's go back to the airplane. So we select the unit and we select back. Then from the menu page or the home page, we select Waypoint Information, and here we have user waypoints and create waypoint. So let me see. Okay, so from the home page, we go to Waypoint Information, create waypoint, and here is the identifier user 000, and you can name this one anything that you want. So let's name it for the purpose of this exercise LAX user point 1. Yeah, you can put any name that you want here. So I'm gonna use LAX U1 just for the sake of something. And position type. So I'm gonna do, you can enter a lat long, you can enter a radial distance or a radial radar. In this case, I'm looking for a radial situation. So I'm gonna select that one. So the first reference is from LAX and the radial is 170. So we enter that. The second reference is gonna be from Torrance. And again, the computer is reading our mind here at Torrance, and now we need to enter the radial, which is going to be 297. We enter, and now we have a waypoint right here. And if you see, this is exactly in the radial 170 from LAX to Limbo, but is exactly on our runway heading. So we create this LAX U1, create this, just like that. Now, how are we going to use that? So we go home, we go to the flight plan, and right now the flight plan is going from Torrance to Limbo, which is incorrect. That is not what we're going to fly. So we said there are a couple of ways to do it. Well, there are more, but at least two of the easiest way to do it will be one, to select LAX to Limbo. So we want to enter LAX before Limbo. So we check Limbo, we select insert before, and we enter here LAX, Los Angeles VOR. So we enter that, and that's it, LAX to Limbo. Now the computer is thinking that we're gonna go from Torrance to LAX and then from LAX to Limbo. That is not what we want. We want to fly runway heading and then intercept the LAX to Limbo. So if that's the way that we choose that we will be flying this, we will select Limbo and we will select activate leg, and that will activate the leg from LAX to Limbo. We will select OK, and then we will be on our way. But that is not how we are going to do it today. So let's go back a little bit and let's see. First of all, we saw in the map, in the sectional, in the instrument chart, that from LAX to Limbo the radial is 170 and is 10 miles. So here I have cumulative distances, and you can change this. So let's go to menu, let's change to edit data fields, and let's change the column number 3. So instead of cumulative distance, let's change just to just distance and go back. So now it's just distance. From Torrance to LAX is 9.2, from LAX to Limbo is 9.8. So remember, it was from the chart, it was 170 at 10. So now here is 173. Well, this is the track. The 170 is the radial, and to fly the radial 170, we have to fly a track of 173. And the distance is 10 miles, so all that is correct. So, still this is not what we want. I'm sorry, I hope I'm not confusing you guys. I'm just trying to demonstrate different things here, how to do different things, how to change information and etc. But hopefully you're not being confused. What I want is to fly from Torrance to the user waypoint I created, and then from limbo. So let's load this. Again, I'm gonna select limbo, insert before that, and this time I'm gonna select the LAXU1. That is the user waypoint that we create. So I'm gonna select this, and we can double check that this is correct, because from LAX to this user waypoint is 173 the track, and then from limbo is still 173 the track, so it's a straight line, so that is correct. And the distance is 3 miles unto this waypoint, and it's almost 7 miles to this waypoint, so in total we still have the 10 miles that we want. Now we need to get rid of this LAX, because we are not going to fly to LAX, so we just click LAX, we click remove LAX, okay, and that's it, done. Now this is what we want to fly, and we can confirm that this is correct, because from Torrance to our user waypoint we're flying a decided track of 297 degrees, which is runway heading, and 6 distance, 6.5 Dma. Then we turn towards limbo on the 173 track, 6 miles, and then we turn to Wilma on the Airway Victor 8, and then we fly all the way to Paradise. So again, we can see if that is exactly what we need by looking at the preview. And again, the preview says from Torrance to Luxury Uniform, which is the waypoint that we created, then to limbo, and then blah, blah, blah. And look at the graphic. This is exactly what the obstacle departure procedure was calling for. And we head, intercept the 170 from LAX to limbo, and then we continue on flight plan route. Okay, so that is our route. Our flight plan is looking good. Now we can go back to the map menu, and we see already that we have a decided track of 297, and we have 6.5 miles to go. What else can we do? Well, we can select, probably at this time we will get our clearance, and we will have a transponder code. So this is not just a GPS navigator, it's also a COM1 radio, it's a NAV1 radio, is a transponder, and is an audio control panel. So it's very, very capable. Plus a lot of other things that I will be, some of them I will be showing you during this flight. So again, let's talk transponder. Let's see that, let's pretend that we've been assigned transponder 5637. Okay, so we enter that, that's it. 5637 is there. That's our transponder code. And now let's set up our radius just to have something to, it's always in aviation good good airmanship to cross-check everything. So we want to cross-check this LAX to limbo. So for that we need the LAX VOR. So let's select standby here. You always select down here in the frequencies, either COM or NAV, to change the frequencies, because if you select up here, that is to change between the active and the standby frequencies. So that is not what we want. We want to enter a frequency. So I'm gonna enter directly the frequency reading from the chart, or if I don't have the chart at hand, or if I don't remember the frequency, or just simply want to do another way to look for the frequency, I go find, then I go nearest, and we have airports with ILS frequencies here, but that's not what we want. So I'm gonna select filter, I'm gonna select VOR, and now we have VOR nearby. I'm looking for the LAX VOR, so 113.6, click here, and I want that to be the active frequency. So boom, just like that, that is the active frequency. And now in here, I want the next frequency, and for that I'm gonna click find, I'm gonna click flight plan, and in the flight plan, these are the frequencies. These are frequencies for ILS in the departure airport. Then the next VOR frequencies along the route, and frequencies for ILS in Victorville, which is our destination. Today, our next VOR will be along the route Seal Beach 115.7. So I click again in this one here, and I'm gonna want this as standby frequency. So that is what we have here. And again, the neat thing about this navigator is that you have this number, whatever it is, corresponds to Sierra Lima India VOR, which is correct. And this number, whatever it is, corresponds to LAX VOR. So you don't have to remember by memory these numbers anymore. You confirm that that is what you want. Now, these numbers down here are from the database. But this up here is once the computer has read or has listened to the Morse code and has decoded that. So its computer has been listening to the Morse code and it's been decoded as Lima Alpha X-ray. So we don't really need, once we have this up here, not this down here, this up here, we don't really need to listen to the Morse code anymore. However, if you want to do it, you can still do it. So we go to audio panel, let's select nav1, and there it is. I don't know if you can hear the Morse code, but there it is. That's the Morse code, so we will confirm that versus the chart to make sure that we are listening to the actual correct one. But again, once we have this LAX here, the computer has decoded that for us, and we can confirm that this is actually the correct frequency for LAX VOR. Now, once we are here in the audio panel, we want to monitor COM2 radio as well. So I'm gonna talk to radio 1 and monitor both radios. Just click back. If you want to talk to radio 2, you just click here, and now you are talking to the radio number 2. You click here again, you are talking to radio number 1, and since we have 1 and 2, we are monitoring both radios. So let's go here to finish setting up everything. What we want in the right radio, or the COM2, we want 121.5. So we're going to be working on radio number 1, and we're going to be listening to 1215 and radio number 2. As far as frequencies down here, we want the same. So we are going to select 113.6, which is LAX, and 115.7. And we could identify it again. To identify the frequencies, so let's click audio panel and let's click nav2. That is, so you will listen to the Morse code, read it versus the chart, and make sure that it is indeed correct. Today, just for brevity, I'm not gonna do that. I know that that is the correct frequency. So I'm gonna use my VOR number 2 to cross-check that this is indeed that we are indeed in the radial 170. So that's a double check that we are going to do. So 150, 160, 170 looks like somewhere there, and we already have a from flags, which is what we are expecting. Now, finally, we need to set this Navigator CDI to GPS. Now we have GPS here, and this is the second issue that we have at the moment, and hopefully will get corrected, that the HSI doesn't read any information from the Navigator when it's in GPS mode. So we're not going to see here any CDI displacements. We are not gonna see here any GPS or any glide path, should I say, indications. But still, it can be coupled to the Autopilot, and the Autopilot can follow that. So, and we have here the CDI anyway. So yeah, you can still live with that. So, but I'm gonna set as a reference our decided track is 297. So let's see. I'm gonna set 297 here, and that is only as a reference. But yeah, of course, it's always good to have everything right so you don't get confused. So 180, 190, 195, 197, something like that. And I'm gonna set my heading reference back to the same position. It should be the same one because the wind is calm, so 197 heading should give us a 197. So that's it for our radios. Now, what else do I have here? I have our transponder, which is already set by this 15637. These are DME, which is set to radio number 1, which is reading 9 DME, 9 miles. That's the distance from from LAX. And we can cross-check that as well if you want. We go to Waypoint Information, VOR, LAX, and here it is. We are at 9.2 DME at a bearing of 318. The frequency is this one, and all the information that you want about the LAX VOR. And if you want this information but reference to another VOR, you just click here and enter whatever you need. So maybe we will work in this page again during flight. So anyway, so that's the, I think with that I have my radius set up. Let me cross check here. Radius com and nav set up. DME set up. Transponder set up. Okay, we need what was the pressure? Was 3010. So let me set up the pressure here. 3010. Okay, and that should give me roughly 100 feet, which is correct because that is the elevation of this airport. And again, if we want to cross check that, we go back, we go several ways to do it again. Airport, let's find from the flight plan Zamperini, and here it is, elevation 103. Okay, let's press here for a couple of seconds. That will take us back to the map page. So let's keep reviewing this. Now all this is correct. Instruments are correct. I'm not gonna do run-ups or anything like that because the systems are not very well modeled. This is from Carenado, and Carenado is beautiful. The pictures and the models and the visual is great. It's awesome. You can tell it's really amazing. It feels like you are really there. But the systems is it's not really. It's really bad, to be honest. So I'm not gonna mess with anything. And honestly, today this video is more about the Navigator than anything else. So after takeoff, I'm gonna engage Autopilot to focus on this. All right. So what else we need? I think we are ready for taxi. So for that, we can zoom in here, and we see that we are here in this area. And let's assume that we are going to runway 29 right, so up here. So let's assume we contact ATC, and ATC tell us to taxi via Golf, which is this exit here to our left. Golf Alpha Juliet to holding point runway 29 right. Okay, so that's it. Let's zoom it there. Okay. So let's put the recognition light on. Let's do a quick flight controls check, make sure that everything is good. Okay, flaps are up, cold flaps are open, fuel selectors are okay, the engine is good, everything looks nice. So yep, we are ready for taxi. So I'm gonna release the parking brake and let's do this. Okay, here we go. So clear right, clear left. Okay, brakes check, perfect. Okay, so gyro and turn coordinator are both working. Compass is working. The altimeter is working. Everything is okay. In our instruments also, they are all in the green. Temperatures and pressures are okay. So again, I'm not gonna do any run-ups because the systems are not well simulated for that. So I'm just gonna skip that. All the area is clear. Okay. So we are here in Alpha, and we will take Juliet, which is the next one. So the second left. The labels here, they don't match. This is the real chart, the real world. But you know, in the scenery from Flight Simulator, that is another of the problems that we have. That it looks like they put just random letters there, that it doesn't really match to the actual real world values or indications. So hopefully they will correct at some point. This is still a very new simulator, very new platform, and they will be already correcting. They've been correcting a lot of stuff already. So let's give them some more time until it gets better and better. All right, so we are approaching runway 29 right. We know exactly what we will be doing. I'm not gonna brief for emergencies or anything like that. I'm not gonna lose your time with that. So let's go ahead and let's go. So let's set our strobe lights, our landing lights. Let's set our transponder to on. Okay, good. All right, so something is wrong here. This is 297. We are in runway 29 right. What did I set? Oh, I said 197. Okay, that's Dma. Sorry, so 27282927, which will be like that, and heading also should be 297. Okay. So with that, I think we are ready for takeoff. So I'm gonna set mixture for reach, route for reach, or the lights are on. We have the transponder. We're good to go. Let's go. Okay, all looks good. Release brakes, full power. Engine instruments look good. Airspeed is alive. We will rotate about 85 knots this one. 60, 70, 80, 85, rotate. Tap the brakes, gear up. Flaps are already up. So trim. There you go, that looks good enough. And that's it, we're flying. Beautiful LA area there. Torrance, California. Right. Okay, so now let's focus on the Navigator and its amazing capabilities. So I'm gonna select these two: Autopilot, Navigation, and I'm gonna select about vertical speed here. Vertical speed. Yeah, that's another bug in the simulator. When you engage vertical speed, it doesn't select the actual vertical speed that you have. It selects 0 for some strange reason. Hopefully that will be correct. It will be at some point. Okay. So now we are on autopilot in navigation mode, lateral, and the vertical speed plus 1,300 in vertical. So time to set our propellers to climb thrust, which is going to be 25,000 RPM. There you go, 25,000 RPM. And the rest is good for now. Perfect. So let's focus on the Navigator. So we're flying towards, we're still flying in runway heading here. That's our runway heading. We are centered going towards this waypoint that we created. And we are 2.7 miles to go. This is our ground speed here. This is our desired track and our track. So, and like I said, no wind. So we were supposed to climb to 3,000. Let's assume that we call departure and departure clear us to climb all the way to 9,000. 9,000 is going to be our final altitude today. So that is what we are going to be doing. When we climb in vertical speed mode, we have to be very cognizant of our speed, because the autopilot is just focusing on maintaining 1,300 feet a minute of climb, and it doesn't know anything about the power that we have and what speed we have. So speed is starting to reduce, so we need to start to reduce the vertical speed that we are doing as well. So let's go back to 1,000 or 1,100 feet a minute. And now we are climbing, we are turning now towards the LAX 170 radial. So we should see that as well here. And here it is, the radial is centering with a front flag and is the 170 radial. So that confirms that we are indeed where we think we are. Another beautiful thing of this navigator is the auto zoom, which you will see all the time. It's zooming to give us the precise information that we need. Okay, beautiful. We're maintaining 110 knots indicated. Now we are 120 knots ground speed, and we are there. We are established there. 170. Let's make it correct. So 170 radial. To maintain that radial, we have to keep a track of 173, and we go all the way to limbo. Limbo was, remember, 10 miles from the LAX VOR. We are now 6, means we need 4 miles more to go to limbo, and that's exactly what is here. So 6 by 4 is 10, all matches, all is correct. So speed decreasing, so we need to reduce our climb rate. Let's go to 800 feet a minute. Okay, now here is an M blinking, that means we have some message, and the navigator is trying to tell us something. Oh look, we have a traffic here. Oh, let's see. It's behind us. This traffic is behind us and is 900 feet below us. That's pretty cool. I'm not sure if we'll be able to look at that. Let's see real quick if we can spot. Oh, there it is. That is the traffic. Oh, look at more traffics. All the traffics from LA. LA is a very, very busy area, as you know. Okay, so let's focus back on what we were doing here. So now we're in the track 173, so let's update this to follow along. 173 is the track. We are with the CDI centered. So there we go, 173, and same, we're gonna update our heading back just for reference. Heading back is always good to leave it in front of you, because if you need to follow radar vectors in short notice, if the bag is not there, it's gonna take a while until you set it back to where it needs to be. Okay, so we are approaching 10 miles, so we are approaching limbo here, and now we are turning. And the navigator tells us, okay, now you need to turn to a track of 074. So we're gonna set this to 074. Speed is still good. So 009, 08, 074, there it is. 074. And now we are in the leg between Limbo and Wilma. There we go. Okay. So speed is starting to reduce again. I'm gonna reduce this to about 600 feet a minute. Okay, and now let's see what is the message here. The message is inside airspace. Okay, good. Yeah, we are IFR, so look at all the traffics here. And if you want, you can go to the traffic page, which is 2 clicks on the big knob, and then you can increase your range a little bit, and you will be able to see more traffics, which is pretty neat. Then if you scroll one more, that's the terrain page. For now we don't have anything that is affecting us, so let's go back to the map page, or you can hit home and select here traffic or terrain. So there are several different ways to do the same things in this amazing navigator. Okay, so it looks like our climb rate is good for now. Now we're passing we're climbing more than 7,000, so now we are doing less than 75%. So I'm gonna reduce my mixture, and then we'll wait until the cruise to reduce a little bit more. Let me just equalize right and left. Looks like I need to pull right a little bit more on the props, so they are both equal. Okay, perfect. So that is good. We are approaching 1,000 to level off, and we are 5 miles from Wilma. Now at this point we should be cross-checking everything with the Seal Beach VOR. So let's select Seal Beach VOR here, select Seal Beach VOR here, and we need to set the 74 here as well to cross-check that. So let's do that. 74, and there you are. We are centered in the VOR. We have a 2 flag, which is all correct. You can disregard this flag. This flag should be gone, but that's another bug of carenado here. Okay, so we are at 3 miles from Wilma, and we are 500 feet to level off. So let's concentrate on level up first, and then I will keep showing you more features of this Navigator. I hope you're liking it so far. I mean, it's great, it's awesome, it's a huge help. So let me synchronize our heading back here. This has nothing to do with where we are flying. The Autopilot is flying the Navigator commands from this unit, so to keep our CDI centered. So we are approaching there, approaching 9,000, on a level off at 9,000 feet. So let's do that. 100 feet to level off. Okay, that's it. Altitude select. Now the Autopilot is holding altitude at 9,000 feet, and it's holding nav from the computer, from the Navigator. We have 10 miles to go to, this is the DME from this frequency, which is Seal Beach. 10 miles, 9.9 to go, 9.7 to go, which is all correct. Now, we always need to be ahead of the airplane, so what is our next frequency? Well, let's select here. Let's select Find from the flight plan. Next one will be Paradise, which is 112.2. So let's click 112.2 on a standby, and boom, just like that. And we know that is the correct frequency because from the database it says that is the frequency for Paradise VOR. So all is good. Okay, what else can we do for now? We're gonna wait until we fly over Seal Beach, and then we continue on Victor 8. But that is a slight turn over Seal Beach, so we will see. Another thing you will see is that the DME here will reach 0 once we are over Seal Beach, while the DME here will reach what? We are flying at 9,000 feet. This Seal Beach is basically at sea level. And if you want, you can compare that once more time. We go to VOR, we go to Find, we can select nearest, Seal Beach. Okay, now Seal Beach, we are at 6 DME on the 074 bearing, which is correct. And this VOR, these are the coordinates of the VOR. And station declination, 15 degrees east. It's a low altitude VOR in Los Alamitos. And I thought it would say the altitude here, but it doesn't. But anyway, we know that it's sea level. So we are at 9,000, 6,000 feet is 1 mile, 9,000 feet will be 1.5 miles. So when we are over this VOR, we should see 0 here because this is at horizontal distance. and we should see about 1.5 mile here, because this is a DME distance measuring from the airplane down to the ground to the VOR station itself. Okay, I'm gonna keep the landing lights on because lots of traffic in this area, so I want to be as visible as I can. What else can we do here? The mixture, let me set that further down to cruise. That's cruise mixture there. Okay, the props are good. Maybe the left one is a little bit more than the right. Okay. And instruments indications are all good. Cylinder head temperatures are low, so we can close the cowl flaps a little bit. Let me close, not too much. Half. Okay. And we can close the fuel pumps at this point. So yeah, that's our cruise checklist. Okay. So left turn to 061 in 6 seconds. So 061 will be our next. Let's update this to 061 and save this. Okay. So we will turn towards 061 and look. 0 DME, 1.5, I mean 0 distance from the VOR, but 1.5 DME from the VOR. So that works, everything works perfectly so far. Now, let's find out more features about this Navigator. Now we are proceeding on Victor 8, and if we want to see what's going on in our flight plan, we can click here, and we are proceeding in this Seal Beach to Anaheim. And here are the desired tracks and the distances, and we're going to Paradise. From Paradise, we change airway to Apples. But these are the distances of each leg. So it's 5.8 miles to Anaheim, then 5.3 from Anaheim to Ollie, 1.5 to Poksu, etc. If I want to know my cumulative distance, that's why I was before had selected this to the cumulative distance. So now we have cumulative distances here. So I can scroll all the way to the end, and I know that I'm 78 miles basically from our destination. We have not yet entered our approach, so we have to keep that in mind. How far are we from Paradise? 24 miles. And let's see, DME, let's change to Paradise. Sorry, I was trying to interact with the panel. So let's change to Paradise here, okay. And let's change to Paradise here as well. 112.7. Okay, so that's Paradise, and that's 23 miles. And to Paradise is 22.7 miles, 22.7. So all that is correct. Now we are on the 061 track, so let's set this to confirm that we are exactly where we are supposed to be. 061, okay. Why we don't see Paradise? 112.2, okay, I see why. 112.2, good, 112.2, okay, now 61, okay, so that is confirmed. All right, so far so good. Let's take a look outside this beautiful area. Oh, gorgeous. All right, so very beautiful. Very beautiful, the scenery and the textures and the airplane itself really is visually amazing. If they could have worked a little bit on the system sides, this would be just perfect. But anyway, that is what we have for now. But I'm quite happy, honestly, with this Navigator. I hope you're liking it. It's quite easy and gives us a ton of information. So let's keep exploring a little bit more. We still have a little bit of time to explore a little bit more features. So press home, hold it for a couple of seconds, and boom, we're back in the map. So here we have a traffic about 11 o'clock 800 feet above. Okay, there it is. Perfect. Now this is a little bit unreal. In daylight, at least, you cannot see the lights like this. You can see it like that at night, but daylight, nah. It will be very difficult to spot. Yeah, it's not like that. Anyway. Okay, so now let's see more. A lot of issues, a lot of features, not issues, a lot of features in the map here. One of them is this. What is this? Well, so you can see that this is pointing towards Santa Ana here, Kilo Sierra November Alpha, that is Santa Ana. If we click here, we go straight to Waypoint Info, and we know, okay, that's Santa Ana, elevation is 56, that's the preview, that's the airport, so we have runways 20 left and right, the right one is small, the 20 left is big, how big, we have all the information here, 20 right is 5,700 feet, if we select the other one, it's only 2,800 feet, so all the information that you wanted, what kind of procedures we have, here are all the procedures that we have, departures, arrivals, LSs, approaches, everything. What kind of frequencies we have here, all the frequencies, 80s, etc., etc. So that's very neat. How far are we? 11 miles and 188. That's our bearing. Okay, it's giving us here decided track 062 in 6 seconds, mean we are approaching this waypoint here, Boxu. And next one will be E-Byte. E-Byte is a 1.5 mile, and next one will be Paradise. Now this changed to another place, so now it's pointing towards Chino. This is Chino. And what is this? This means Chino is a good airport for a gliding distance airport. If we are to lose both engines, or especially for single engines, if you lose your only engine, the best option would be for you under these conditions and wind and etc. just to glide into this airport, Chino. If we go to back and select nearest here, you can select the nearest airport, intersections, VORs, whatever. Let's select airports, and these are the ones that are within gliding range. So we have Corona, Chino, and Fullerton. So this is the closest, 7 miles, Chino at 8 miles, and Fullerton at 12 miles. And then are the other ones, but these are farther away, and we are not within gliding range of those ones. So these are the type of approaches that we have, the runway lengths that we have, so everything for you to make a good decision in case of emergency. So I really like that feature as well. All right, let's say that the ATC clear as direct to position. What is next here? CAPS. Okay, so let's say we are clear direct CAPS. So how we do that? We press here direct. We can go to a waypoint, flight plan, or nearest airport. So let's go flight plan. Let's select CAPS. So direct CAPS confirm. It's course 026. Yes. Direct activate. Boom. Just like that. Now we are flying direct to CAPS on the 026. So let's update this in our flight display. So HSI 026 will be like that. And let's update our heading bag as well. 26. Good. Okay, and we are flying direct to CAPS. We had a shortcut from ATC. How nice of them. Alright, what else? Let's see. Okay, let's talk about our arrival. So, first, before that, let's go here. So we're flying to CAPS, where we will intercept the Victor 442 to Ipos. So basically we are 45 miles away from Ipos. And from Ipos we are going to do our approach into Victorville. So what kind of approaches we have? Well, we select Victorville here, we select view charts, and we have airport diagram, which is this one. We see that we are going to use runway 17, and the other one is runway 21. And we can see the departures. No charts are available, no arrivals. Okay, approaches. Here we are. So we have an ILS for runway 17. We have an RNAV for runway 17, and we have a VOR DME for runway probably was set. So let's use the ILS for now. Why? Just to demonstrate the Arc DME. This Navigator can fly DME Arcs, so that's pretty cool. So DME Arc starts at Apples and is a 12.2 Dma Arc, where you can descend to 6,600 feet until crossing the radial 011 from Victorville BOR. Then you keep on the arc 12.2 DME to 5,200, and then you turn to intercept and establish yourself on the ILS. ILS is 108.75, the final approach course is 166. The final approach point is Suski here, so let's see the profile view. Suski here, that's the final approach fix at 4,300 feet. We will be descending on a glide of 3 degrees down to a minima of 3,025 feet. So that's it. We are direct to this runway here, and then we will taxi to the apron like that. Airport elevation 2885, touchdown zone elevation is 2825. Okay, what else can we see from here? 108.75, the final approach course, we've briefed that already. And the missed approach, it says climb to 3,500, then climbing right turn to 6,000 via heading 300 to intercept the DME 269 to enter the intersection and hold. So here's the graphic. We climb to 3,000, then we turn to intercept on heading 300 to intercept the radial 269, and we go on the radial 269 all the way to either, which is at 19 DME, and we hold here. So that's the plan. So let's load that. So we go back, we select Victorville, select load procedure, approach procedure, and it's gonna be the ILS 17, and it's gonna be from Apples. So here's the route. Again, you always have the graphic and the textual descriptions. From Apples is a DME Arc to this byte intersection, then another DME Arc to this other intersection here, the 356L, which is the radial 356, then intercept SCAT, which is here, and then Susco, which is the final approach fix. So the initial approach fix is final, it's Apples. Susco is the final approach fix, and runway 17, that is the missed approach point. Then we climb to 3,500 feet. We intercept the hold, we intercept the radial here, the radial 269, all the way to either, and that's the hold. So everything is there. So let's load this approach. This is an ILS approach, so it's not approved for GPS. GPS guidance is for monitoring only. Load the approach? Yes, okay. All right. So right now we're flying to Caps. We're still 18 miles to go. Then Emmeline and Apples, and then the airport. But we have already selected the approach, which will be ILS 17 from Apples. And here are the minimums by minimum 6,600. That's the underline, means at or above. Radial 356 is at or above 5.2, and intercept to go to Susco, which is the final approach fix, at or above 4,300, and then the ILS. Now take a note of that. The ILS frequency is already pre-populated on the standby frequency, so that is very nice. And this is the India Victor Charlie Victor ILS 108.75, and if we verify that with the chart, that is exactly what we want. India Victor Charlie Victor 108.75, and the final approach course will be 166. Man, I love this Navigator. It's really amazing. Okay, so let's see where we are. Okay, so that was our original flight plan. If you remember, we had to go to Paradise and then go via Victor 44. But ATC was kind enough to give us a shortcut here, so that's what we are doing, a shortcut to intercept Caps, and from Caps we will re-intercept Victor 442. Here are all the traffics that we have on our right side. So final, this frequency is already there. Paradise yeah, it's already there, but more than this, I think we can start to enter the Victorville VOR. So let's cycle this, then we go back to the charts, and let's see, from the chart this time, Victorville 109.05. So we click here and we just enter 109.05 and enter. And we confirm that that is effectively Victor Charlie Victor VOR. So we click up here, and now the Victor Charlie Victor is identified and is tuned, and we are gonna be use the DME based on this VOR here. So let me set the same thing here as a reference, 109.05. That is Victorville VOR. And then will be 108.75 as a reference for the ILS. Okay, good. Now, what else can we see for now? Let me see. So far we've demonstrated a few of the nice features of this Navigator. Check this. Okay, good. So we have a little bit of time. So let's go back to the home page and let's talk about the utilities, and let's talk about flight timers. 1 hour 24, we departed at 16:03. Oh damn, I forgot to reset my timer. That is incorrect. That is just adding my previous flight plus this flight. That's why you need to reset your timer before takeoff, and I just forgot to do that. So this will be wrong value. Our flight time should be around 30 minutes at this point. We departed at 16:03, so we can make the calculation. We departed at 16:03 plus 30 minutes, 16:33, and time now is let's see, 16:33 right now. Oops. Let's go to system GPS. Yeah, 16:33 exact, right? I was right on the money, about 30 minutes. So these are the satellites that been simulated to being received, and this one is SBAS. It has all the available SBAS systems, so we can do LPV approaches because we have WAS in US, and we have IGNOS for Europe, we have MSFS for Japan, and GAGAN for India. So we can do LPV approaches in all these places. All right, let's go back a little bit to utilities. So that was the flight timers. I forgot to reset this one. Trip planning, you can select flight plan, and here is your trip plan, your estimated time and route, your distance, your ETA, your emergency safe altitude, everything, blah, blah, blah. Here in fuel planning, same thing. You have a bunch of information here. That's your fuel on board at the moment. We have 93 gallons remaining. We are doing 27 gallons per hour. That's our ground speed. The required fuel to get to Victorville is 17 gallons. So we're gonna be landing with 75 gallons remaining, and that's good enough to fly for 2 hours 45 minutes. Our range at the moment is 542 miles. Our efficiency is 5.9 miles per gallon, and our endurance at the moment is 3 hours and 25 minutes. So that's a lot of information. We have some information about the winds as well here if you want. That's our pressure altitude, 9,000, that's where we're holding. And wind direction is 260 at 14 knots. We have a tailwind component of 7 knots, so that's very nice. Our true air speed is 153 plus 7, 160, that is our ground speed, so all that is also correct. So yeah, lots of stuff to play with, lots of interesting real life information. This unit in real life is very versatile, as you can tell, so it's good to have it finally available for us in the flight simulator. Even with these small shortcomings that we are seeing at the moment, hopefully they will be solved in the future. But even with that, I'm quite happy to accept that. Okay, so we've talked so far about 2 of them. Let's talk about the third one. Third one is the database. Because this unit uses the real software of the real life unit, the database is not updated, and we cannot update the database with Navigraph. So right now we are using, let me see, let's go to our unit, let's go to system and status, and there it is. We are using database of April 2020, so that is about a year old. So hopefully we have to wait until Garmin updates the database, but yeah, that's close enough for simulation purposes, because this is the real database. Talking about databases, okay, so now we are establishing Victor 442.015, so let's select this. No, we are not, we are already selected Victorville, so this is not gonna work, so disregard that. So let's go back to talk about databases. This database, even though it's 1 year old, is the real life database, the same one that you will see in your airplane in the same unit. It is worldwide database. We have all the procedures, departures, arrivals, and approaches to every airport in the world, but the charts are only loaded for USA, so you will have only government charts for USA. But you have worldwide procedures, so if you can refer to your charts via another platform like a Navigraph or something else, then you are good to go. You don't need a chart display here in this Navigator, so you can do all your procedures. Alright, so what is this here? This strange pattern here. That is my glide area. Means, again, most applicable to a single engine, but still, if we lose both engines for some reason, that's where we can glide. That's our gliding range. And why is this strangely shaped? Because it considers terrain and considers wind. So, and this is the best gliding airport is Lima 26. So if we don't know what that is, we just click here and that's it. We have Waypoint Information, and this is Hesperia at 3,400 feet, and the runway is that, it's at 3,910 by 50 feet is runway 321, and that's the airport. It's a very small airport, but it's good enough if we have an emergency. Okay, what else? Let's get ready for our approach. We've briefed everything. Now we have a fairly heavy crosswind. So our decided track is 015, our track is 015, we are in the center, and no, it's not a crosswind, sorry, it's just that I didn't update my indication here. Okay, so 015, yeah, that's very good. Okay, so let's see what our altimeter will be in Victorville. So let's see if we can get it from the 80s. So we will go to Waypoint Information, Airport, Victorville, frequencies 80s, 13547. So let's select this as active, okay? And let's select tower as standby. Okay, I'm gonna change that because that is the bug that has not been corrected forever. It's giving us wrong indication. The actual meter at the moment is wind 240 at 17, so we're gonna be a little bit of a strong crosswind for our arrival. We have 10 miles visibility, we have sky clear, which is what we can see here, and the altimeter is 3014, so let me update that to 3014. Okay, so that's, now we have the correct altimeter. Let me adjust a little bit our altitude to maintain 9,000. We want to maintain 9,000, not 9,100. So let me go down to 9,000. And we are approaching position Apples, but now we see something happen there. Okay, 9,000 altitude. So let's see. From Apples, the navigator is trying to turn towards the airport. That's not what we want. We want to keep going in the arc. So what's going on? Well, if we go here from Apples, it says, okay, after Apples, I'm gonna fly to Victorville. No, that's not what we want. So let's click here to the flight plan, and here's what happened. We're going to Apples and then the airport, but we need to go to this Apples here, which is the initial approach fix. So a couple of ways to do it. One is to go direct Apples. Other one is to select approach and select activate approach up here, not activate vectors to final, activate approach. So let's click that, and that's it. Now, what happened after Apples? We're going to Byte. We are not going anymore to the airport. Now we're going to Byte. And what is Byte? Byte is this waypoint here on the Dma Arc. So that is exactly what we want. Okay, and it's a 12.2 Dma Arc. So let's select chart here, and let's see what we can do. We can select this radial 089, which is Apple's intersection at 12.2 from Victor Charlie Victor. We have Victor Charlie Victor. No, we don't have Victor Charlie Victor here. Why? 1905. Yeah, we have Victor Charlie Victor in this in both navigators, and we want the 089. So let's select that here as a cross check. There we go. So the CDI is coming. And let's go to the map. Yeah, we are approaching Apples. Exactly right. There we go. So yeah, all is good. Now left to 360 now. So here we go with the Dma Arc. It's gonna be a 12.2 Dma Arc. So let's see. Look at this. Okay. So 12.2 DME. We are entering the arc. We are crossing the radial. Everything matches. And when should we start our descent? We even have our TOD here. We need to go from 9,000 to 6.6, and it's here, 6,600. So that's about 2,400. If we descend 800 feet a minute, that will be 4 minutes. And we are roughly at 2.5 miles per minute. So about 10 miles. So in about 5 miles, we'll start our descent. And I think that's roughly what this TOD is at. So all that is correct. Now, what we always try to stay ahead of the airplane. So this thing I'm gonna set to 166, which is the approach CDI. So to be ready for the ILS. 166. So 15, 16, 165, 166. There we go. And I'm gonna keep updating my heading back here as we go. So let's see. If we go to home page and select charts, look, that's us. So we can tell that we are in the arc. We can tell that we are in the 12.2 Dma arc. Now the next radial that we want to check is the radial 011, which is by intersection. So let's enter that here, 011. Okay, there it is. So in that way we will cross-check that we are exactly where we want to be. Okay, I should go up to 9,000 feet, but we are very close to our top of descent point, so I'm not gonna bother with that. So at this point, let me go back to our map page, and let's see it here. Okay, we have 10 miles to go to Bath. So yeah, so we should be approaching a good point to start that descent in order to descend about 800 feet per mile. So to start our descent, I'm gonna open up my cowling flaps. I'm gonna put my fuel pumps back to on, and I'm gonna select vertical speed, and I'm gonna select here About let's do 700 feet a minute. Okay, so we are leaving 9,000 now, descending to 6,600 initial. Let me update my heading back. And so far so good. What do you guys think about this Navigator? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you're liking this kind of content. I love this flight simulator. It's really, really awesome. The scenery is unbelievable. It's like looking at real life, honestly. And look at this airplane. It's gorgeous. I mean, the visuals are very, very well made. Plus, we have now a capable real-life navigator. So that's pretty much all you can ask for. So look at this. Very precise. 12.2. Sharp. It's not even 12.3 or 12.4 or 12.1. It's 12.2. Right where we want to be. So we can even zoom in a little bit more, and we have all the information that we need. Next waypoint we need to cross at 6,600 or above. So we are very good there. Let's go 500, okay. And as we go descending, I'm gonna start increasing the mixture as well a little bit. There we go. Landing lights, they are already on. So pretty much we are all set. We're 5 miles. We're so a couple of minutes. So 1,000 feet, we should be crossing 7,000, which is correct for this point. We need to be at 6.6 or above. We're gonna be around 7. So that works. That works for me. Let's go 600, okay. And let's start to reduce as well our power a little bit. Let's go to 2100. Okay. Perfect. Okay, now this slight jittering that we are seeing, I don't know if you can tell, that's the fourth problem that we are having with the integration of the Navigator with the simulator, and that again is simulator problem. Hopefully Azobo will come up with a solution for that soon. So let's wait and hope for the best. Okay, this has been a very nice flight. Lots of features demonstrated of this Navigator. By the way, I'm leaving the link of this company below, so you can go and look for yourself, see if you like it. But like I said, I love it. There are people that are not happy with having a slightly old database. Well, I prefer to have a slightly old database but a real unit than to have an actual database with a unit that doesn't work. It's not worth it. So, but that's me. Okay, so we are approaching here this point that we need to cross at 6.6, and we are doing very well. We are going to cross at 6.6 indeed. 8 seconds to go, and the next is to keep the arc to 66. So that's what we are doing. Let's see the next one. Yeah, vertical track. Okay, so we are crossing 6.6. Next one is at 5.2. So we keep the arc, and now we cross the radial. Next one is radial 356. So let's enter that 356 to verify this point here that we need to cross at or above 5.2. So we are less than a minute, weight 600, so we should be 5.9, we need to be 5.2, okay, let's increase our descent a little bit. Let's go, we need to be 5.2 or above, so let's go 700. There we go. Yeah, even 800 would work. And let's see, if you want to check versus the chart, there it is, we are still where we need to be. Very good. So after this, that we turn towards the localizer, that will be moment to switch frequencies here. The Navigator will tell us when, so you will see. That's pretty good. Left turn to 196 in 8 seconds. So let's go back to our map page to see. Okay, so here it is. CDI is centering. There it is. So now we are turning towards the intercept, the final approach course, and now we can descend to 4,300 feet. So we are intercepting this point here, 4,300 feet. So let's see here, we are from final approach feet at 6 miles. Okay, let me keep reducing my power. Let me keep increasing my mixtures. Okay. We are doing so 5 miles to go. 5 miles, we are still 2.5, so 2 minutes. And we need to be 4.3. We are 5, we are good. We are very good indeed. So actually we can start reducing slightly this. Okay, so left to 166, and that is our final approach course. So once we have Suso as the final approach course as the active waypoint, then we can transfer frequencies here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna transfer frequency. And now we have here the ILS. Now if transferred already to VLOC, so we can select approach. And now we are back to a normal ILS approach. 4,300. Okay, identified Victor Victor Charlie Victor 108.75. Good. We have the runway inside here. Perfect. So let's keep setting everything up for the arrival. So we are now intercepted, and we need to be 4,300. We are 1 mile to go. So yep, we are almost there. Let me set this one to there. And the approach mode is armed, so we should be able to capture the glide slope here. Let's see. Okay, about to approach the glide slope, gear down. There it is. Glide slope has been captured. Now we are descending in the localizer and glide slope. We are in ILS mode now, VLOC. Okay, perfect. Now let's keep reducing our power. Let's keep increasing our mixture. So mixture is full. Keep reducing our power. And I'm gonna set the prop levers full forward just to be ready for a missed approach. And there we are. Now we are within the flap range, so I'm gonna select flap 10. Perfect. Beautiful. I love it. It's a great help. This navigator is a great help. It works just like real life. Okay, now let's set flap 20. And just the final flap setting. And disconnect and land. So how about that? Amazing, beautiful. First time in Microsoft Flight Simulator that we can do real life procedures. Thank you very much to these units here. Okay, and we can see that we are white and red. We are good. The minima was for this approach. What was the minima? Let me see.
500.
Minima was 3,025. So yeah, we are approaching minima here. I'm gonna select flaps 30, and that's our final flaps. So fuel is good, gas is good, undercarriage is good, mixture is good, flaps is good, seatbelt is good, and we are ready to disconnect the autopilot and land. So autopilot disconnect. And you can tell we have a strong crosswind from the right, from the west, so we will just follow the grab angle here. That is working good for us. Okay, while we wait. Okay. Okay, mixtures back to lane for taxi. And I think we can make this intersection here. Yeah, we are going to make this intersection. Perfect. And this is intersection Echo 3. Now we will take Echo to the right to go towards the ramp. So now we are clear of the active. We will do the required calls with contact ground, and ramp says to go via Echo, cross the other runway to the ramp. So that's what we will do. So once we are established on our taxiway Echo here, we will do our after landing procedures. Okay, so mixture is already set. Flaps we identified. Flaps up. Fuel pumps, we don't need that anymore. Landing light, we don't need that anymore. And just a strop light is good enough for now. Cold flaps are open. Props are good. And everything looks okay. Okay, before we go, this is what I wanted to show. This is what we did. So this is the track of our flight. So we parked here with taxi via Golf Alpha Juliet. We departed from runway 29 right. We went to intercept the radial 170 from LAX to Limbo. Then we intercepted Victor 2 to Seal Beach. We were flying to Paradise, but then we got a shortcut from ATC all the way here, and then we went to Apples, and then here we did this very nice 12.2 Dma Arc. Then we intercepted the ILS and we landed here in Victorville. We taxi via Echo 3 Echo, we crossed the other runway 321, and we went and parked in the ramp. So that was our trip today. So that is it. I think I'm not going to bore you with the taxi, and I'm gonna cut it here. So thank you very much for joining me in this demo/tutorial flight, sharing with you the amazing capabilities of this Garmin GTN 750 Xi Navigator. I will do more videos in the future to describe other functions like LPV approaches, or RNAV approaches, should I say, RNP approaches with LPV minimums, and all that new stuff that we can do thank you to this navigator. But as you can tell, we've done today departures, we've created user waypoints, we've followed airways, we've gone direct to, we've done a Dma Arc ILS approach, and everything works perfectly well. We've seen traffics in our screen. Next time maybe I will show you the terrain page as well. So please wait for next videos. Like, subscribe, and share with your friends this if you like. Thank you for your attention. Have a great day.